I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. I was watching a clip about Michael Jackson, and in the clip it said he owned 50% of Sony Music. Not just the Beatles, not just his own stuff. 50% of Sony Music. Not just Elvis. 50% of Sony Music. It's saying it was estimated to be worth $80 billion. Now, I'm not even going to go into that. I just wanted to mention it. And I want to ask the question, are you still thinking that he wasn't assassinated? I'm not talking about the doctor. I'm not talking about anything that the doctor did. I'm talking about he was assassinated, taken out Star Chamber style. Look it up, Star Chamber. He was taken out Star Chamber style. I want to read to you something that I wrote on Facebook. You all should really all follow me on Facebook. You don't have to friend me. You can just follow me. My entire profile is completely open. The Shikama Live Show information is also in the information box. Dear black people, especially black Twitter, we need to go back to the oral history of our forefathers and capture the knowledge of our elderly before they're gone. There's lots of lost African and African American truth that is dying daily. Rap isn't new. It has been with the African from the beginning. We had people so trained in the way of oral history and oral knowledge that they could keep entire libraries in their head and repeat them word for word under pain of death. We need to revisit oral history and rekindle it. Our history is being washed away by white supremacy through public education and university. Ours is the only history being destroyed like this. It is intentional and conscious. The ongoing message is that African did nothing, knew nothing, contributed nothing. Then African history is being destroyed to keep the truth away from us. I saw a History Channel clip of them taking African blocks with history etched into it and huge saws with rivers worth of water pouring over it and them cutting the blocks up. I saw a documentary of a white paleontologist who went to Egypt and saw locals chipping away the face of entire walls. This guy was mad as hell. When he asked why they were doing this, they said a white man told them and paid them to do it. When they asked if they knew what they were doing, they said yes, they knew, but they are being paid. This is repeating in South Africa, Kenya, East Africa, West Africa, the Bush, Sub-Saharan Africa. Meanwhile, the CIA wipes out entire tribes by funding petty war chiefs. When asked why the war chiefs are doing this, they said the CIA pays them. They let a white documentarist come right into their headquarters and even go out on the field with him and told him everything. They didn't even care. When asked, do they hate the people they're fighting? They said no, they are being paid. Then the media reports it as if Africans hate Africans. Oh, and the war chiefs knew that they weren't even the goal of the CIA. They knew the real goal was to get the resources of the local national government, the gold, silver, copper, diamonds, all over Africa, water, electricity. They knew they were just pawns. Ladies and gentlemen of the African diaspora, we have to rekindle the oral history. We have to capture that oral history from our black elders right now before the actual truth is completely wiped away. They say Africans never contributed anything. All of science came from Africa. You think I don't know what I'm talking about? You need to go research it. All of math, all of it, all of it. Europe was running around in loincloths, in wolfskins, in bearskins, beating each other over the head with clubs. I'm not saying iron, I'm not saying steel, with clubs, while Africans were already charting the universe. Did you hear me? They found a working telescope to the magnitude of today's telescopes from 5,000 BC. What, please tell me, was Europe doing in 5,000 BC? 5,000 BC. My African people, all of you, you are trying to be wiped out. You're not a minority. You're not even close to a minority. There is nothing wrong with your brain. What did I say? There were people trained in Africa to hold entire libraries in their brain. There is nothing wrong with your brain. Nothing. Africans invented the entire sphere of what we call healthcare today. Literally, they've invented, and even black people have contributed to all of the inventions, microscopes, DNA, bacteria. You know that saying, there's always one in the crowd? Usually that's talking about some sort of negative person. Sometimes racists will say it about black people, there's always one in the crowd. Well, I'm saying it in a racist way. There is always one in the crowd. Go research all of the inventions of the United States in the medical field, in mathematics, in science. You will always find an African somewhere in the mix. If not the very first person, then he's the assistant of the first person. They say a white man invented the light bulb. That's not true. A white man invented a light bulb. A black man perfected it so the light bulb actually stayed on and didn't blow up. That they don't tell you. Why is that significant? Because they said the Wright brothers invented the airplane, aka flying, when the reality was there were about 100 people with airplanes. The Wright brothers perfected the airplane so it stayed in the air. That literally means the other 100 people had airplanes. That's not what they're saying. They're saying that they perfect. But when they come to the light bulb, they give the credit to the white guy, not the black guy. But in the instance of the Wright brothers, they give the credit to the Wright brothers and not the people who had already had airplanes years before. There was a time in our history in the United States where black people were forbidden by law from holding patents. Do you understand me what I just said? This is the history that is being erased, and it's all serving one purpose: white supremacy. I say we need to pull our children from school. There have been a few black parents who have been so upset at learning what their children are being taught in school that they have literally filed suit saying that they are being taught that they are inferior. The school is teaching the black kid that he's inferior. That is not the place of a school. But this is the educational system in the United States. I tell you, black people, there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with your brain. I can see genius even in criminals. Do you know the guy who invented, or who is credited with promoting crack cocaine, invented an entire business system, lookouts, and he invented the drive-through window for crack cocaine. He had several police departments on his payroll. Is that the mind of an idiot? Let's forget. Let's pretend you were in an alternate universe where drugs are not illegal at all. In that universe, what would we call that black man? We would call him a genius. Oh, and by the way, he testified that the government supplied him. By the way, yes, in this universe. And that he was actually quite shocked when they indicted him. He said it was something to do with something that had nothing to do with him. Now, it's a tragedy that they use black people to destroy the black community. But I keep telling people that I have no feelings. And I literally don't. So, when I look at that situation, I look at the entire situation, and what I come out with is, that guy's a genius. Oh, I knew that. I already knew before I even heard his name. I already knew the story behind that the government was indeed supplying the drugs. If it wasn't him, it'd be somebody else. Somebody else probably wouldn't be as much of a genius as he is, but it would have been somebody else. Oh, I have people who have said that they have in fact done drugs with the entire Congress on a per case basis. Oral history. We need to return and take our history back. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.